G'day everybody, welcome back to Tavern Keeper. Hope you guys are doing well. In the previous episode we managed to open the tavern 24/7. Although there are a few teething issues right now. We don't really know if customers are actually going to be showing up past normal hours, and I guess one of our staff members are unhappy about something. So we'd better maybe check in on that initially. Codry, he's definitely important for the team because he's our main chef. Let's just take a look here. He says that he's at work and exhausted. What's wrong with that though? Unless maybe he's overworked. Did I accidentally assign too much work to him? Let me just take a quick look right now. And we can sort of figure out what's going on here. Apparently... Oh! My bad, yeah. He definitely needs work reduction because it says there that he's only willing to work 10 hours. I thought he was okay to work up to 14 hours before. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Unless perhaps maybe his work hours reduced. Well, let's bump him down to work from 11 o'clock. And then I'm just sort of looking at the daytime team. We've got a bunch of generalists who don't really touch anything in the kitchen. But perhaps maybe we might need to change that. Although we do have Ferdebrand, who does help out in the kitchen. Perhaps maybe the first, what is this, 3 hours? Might not be so bad for him to be doing that on his own. But then we've also got Marilora, who's a generalist who can help out in the kitchen as well. So, and her time sort of overlaps a little bit, right? So perhaps maybe we can add a little bit more there and then reduce the amount of time that she works from the evening. Yeah, I think that might work. So we better just watch Codry's happiness levels and just make sure that he's going to be okay. But yeah, I think I do want to start out this episode by doing some of that decorating. I keep mentioning we'll decorate, but then I don't actually get to it. So let's actually do that instead of doing anything else for the time being. I don't want to spend too long on it because there's a real risk for me to get stuck into this decorating and then suddenly we don't really have time to do anything else in the episode. So, let's see. I sort of want some stuff on top of the table. I don't know if there's something that can be a nice centerpiece. Maybe this welcome basket doesn't seem like a bad idea. It is pretty gigantic, but I reckon I could probably reduce the size of it. Yeah, maybe even something like that. Then we can have various other things on the table. Let's think about it though, because there could be other things that might not be a bad option. An ornate planter. We don't exactly have the ability to plant anything though. Bowl of leeches. It's kind of disgusting. Playing cards. Posh candle. So it has that weird cone-looking thing on the top of it, but I think that's probably just something to do with editing how the light works or how the fire burns. So this candle doesn't actually have a fire on it. Whoa. A good bin. A wicker tower. I don't know if wicker's really the right style. Then what's this stuff? I guess these are just general shapes that you can place down if you were so inclined to create your own shapes. So if I really wanted to create that like fox or dingo logo, I could use some of these shapes. It'd probably be pretty painstaking though, to be honest. And I don't know if you guys would be keen on seeing stuff like that. This looks pretty cool. A horned hat. We could do something like that in the front, like to greet customers as they come into this space, or maybe it's appropriate for the top of the fireplace there. That might not look too bad. So I know I'm spending a lot of time here. Strange artifact. I like it. Lanterns. Yeah, okay. So I feel like it would be nice to have just various, like, knickknacks rather than just the welcoming basket or whatever it's called. So in order to do that, I think maybe we do want to start with that horned hat, rather. You don't need it to be, like, too big, but maybe something like that. That looks pretty cool. And then, you know, we can have various things dotted around the table. I was sort of thinking, so there was a book stand here, which it might be appropriate to have a book stand for, you know, like the idea that I have is like these guests might need to sign in or something like that. Or perhaps maybe people could be viewing the menu. Not that there's anything written in that book, but still. Looks cool. And then we could have like various stacks of books here, which might not look too bad. A seal stamp, a scroll. Napkin trays. Maybe. So we do napkin tray there. And then we have like bowls of things. Whatever these things might be. Bowls of nuts and spices. And we could have like some glassware. Yeah, it can get a little bit time consuming deciding on what to place down. So I'll try not to be too long here, but I do want to try and get it right. I think that looks cool. And then I think I will go with the idea of stacks of books. And perhaps maybe a scroll or two. The only problem that I have with books is that they're not in the right orientation, which makes things a little bit more difficult for us to work with. I mean, I can just simply fix them myself, like this, but... Okay. Then I could probably duplicate that, and I could maybe bring that one across like so. Duplicate that, and yeah, it's a little bit difficult to tell where things are in 3D space. Then we want like different types of books. Don't want just one type of book, obviously. All right. Also, need to be careful that things aren't just like simply hovering. Is there a way I can just reduce the size? Yeah, I guess I should have reduced the size before I even play around with the rotation and placement. Yeah, I do commend the detail that you can, well, the amount of detail from which you can sort of edit stuff. But it does make things a little bit complicated, especially for people like me who, you know, I might not spend like hours and hours on, you know, making detailed arrangements and changes, but for those who do, probably like a really, really nice thing. But I wish there was a like some more streamlined way to achieve some of the things that you want to achieve. I think I saw an inkwell here, which might be appropriate just over here. If I can find that. There. pretty big inkwell, so I'm just gonna like reduce the size a little bit. Or should the inkwell be here? I think it makes sense to have an inkwell there, but then... Oh yes, I was just about to say, what about a quill? So... Firstly... we do need to just reduce the size. And then... yeah, probably just need to play around with the orientation a little bit. And the placement. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, a little bit empty on this side, and I do want to get some stuff in. Question is what? I think we can do some simple books. Let's just make sure that we're happy with the size initially. I wonder if a loot would look nice. Let's just have a play around with it. I'm sort of thinking if we can sort of lean the loot like so. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Just thinking of maybe moving the scrolls just a little bit. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a messy sort of table going on in the center where we've got a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know why we picked all of this sort of stuff, but it just looks nice. And then maybe we can do, I don't know, some booze bottles, you know. I don't think that'll look too bad. Alright, how about that? I think there's definitely more we can do. I mean, look at this really empty shelf. So I think we could probably do something on that front, and then also do something with the fireplace. Actually, before I forget, I think for the fireplace I already sort of thought about placing something down. What did I mention before? Oh yeah, forgot about the candles as well. Candles might not be too bad. Posh candles. And this thing actually provides some light, which is kind of cool, but it probably does create sparks as well, which means that there's a chance of things burning. Giant chest. And we can reduce the size if we wanted to. Sword plunger. Kind of funny. Scroll of Fortune. I didn't realize there were other types of scrolls available. Trophy base. I'm sort of trying to figure out what is it that I thought about putting on top of the fireplace. Huh. Can't quite figure it out now. I mean, this might not look too bad. It looks like it might be back to front though. Yeah. Let's leave it at that. I think we've spent a lot of time decorating this episode. I don't want the entire episode to be just decoration, because there's a lot of work to do. We do need to figure out whether or not our place is operating appropriately. 24/7, that is. The Halflington Post, Volume 8. The gods are watching, maybe. Peasants have been protesting outside of the local church, asking why the gods let bad things happen to us. A cleric tried to calm the crowd, claiming that the gods are powerless to intervene in mortal affairs, and called down chain lightning and chased the protesters away. I feel like maybe we've read that one before. Okay, let's speed things up. I really want to just pay attention to what's happening after hours. Okay, storybook. Let's hope it's a story that we've never seen this time.
A wet, hacking cough echoes through the tavern, emanating from a richly dressed gentleman doubled over with convulsions, waving a kerchief. At last, he manages to catch his breath. Your attention, peons! He interrupts his own speech with a wretched sneezing fit. Beg pardon. Your attention. I, Ribbonoltz the handsome, 85th cousin in line for the crown of Merriman, have contracted a plague of desperate proportions. I wish to celebrate my remaining time among the living. Join me for a day of revelry and drink, and I shall pay for all.
I kind of want to kick this guy out of the tavern, because he could be contagious. Yeah, let's do that.
The noble, whatever his title may be, draws himself up to his full height and looks down his afflicted nose at you. He wobbles unsteadily on his feet. You've made a powerful enemy here today, Tavern Keep, compared to the average commoner anyway. He hacks, coughs, and drips his way toward the front door, cursing your name.
Good. Because I don't want any of him in here. Nor his germs. But maybe we could pay for it a little bit later. Anyway, once again, let's speed things up. Noble Nightmare. We made a noble enemy. Does that mean that people are less to come to the tavern, or maybe we might get review bombed or something? But it is after hours now. I'm just looking though, there does seem to be quite a few customers. So it's really strange that some of the folks who are taking time off, they sort of just walk around in their pajamas everywhere. Probably not the best sight for our customers, but I don't know if there is a way to control that, and whether or not we can sort of keep them in the staff quarters, or whether or not there's really any penalty even for them walking around in the pajamas in the tavern. Yeah, some people are getting impatient though. I do think... Oh yeah, actually this is probably the true after hours that I'm worried about. And there definitely doesn't seem to be a lot of customers at this hour. So my initial thought was that, should we employ more if the place gets a little bit rowdy at night? The answer is no. At least that's what I can see for the moment. But what we could do for some of the night shift people is we could have more people cleaning instead of serving and all that sort of stuff, right? So I think I'll keep Marilora as a generalist because she's generally good at everything. And I mean, Ariel is a really good server, and that's all she's really good at. Ermengarde is good at chefing. That's really all she's good at, and also she gets upset having to do some of the other jobs, so it can be a bit of a pain. Yeah, I feel like I don't really have much of an opportunity here to change people's specializations. At least for the night people. I could probably switch Ariel to become a generalist. Although she's not good at everything, she can still pitch in. Actually, I kind of want to make her a janitor. So we have essentially 2 janitors working the night shift. So the idea is, because there are not a lot of customers, we should be able to have 2 janitors sort of cleaning the place up before the place even starts back up again for the, you know, the, well, let's call it the daytime shift. Alright, merchants here. Do we actually need anything, is the question. Nomad's nectar. Well, we do still have a little bit, but I reckon we could probably just grab one more. He doesn't really have much for us anyway. And speaking of stock, we probably do want to just watch that and make sure that we've got everything we need. So we probably need to get another batch of tentacle. And I think we're using the cabbage, so we need another batch of cabbage. We probably should get mutton in, farm hens. Yeah, there's quite a bit that we need, so let's go for it. Mutton, farm hens, let's get a couple of batches there. Oh, we are almost out of fine flour, and there's no fine flour for a while. That's a problem. I'll get some coarse flour, and once we're out of normal bread, we can make bread from coarse flour. It just won't be as nice, but I think people still tend to go for that compared to some of the stuff that we buy. So that's fine. So how much do we have here? Yeah, I think we've got enough. Gaffer spuds, we still need, I mean, we still have, rather. So let's get that delivered ASAP, and then let's go for some of the other ingredients as well. So I definitely need some Lost Oasis and some Mudweiser as well. I don't think our guys are actually eating any of the blue cheese, because we still have 20 in stock. So perhaps maybe I need to just, like, I don't know, not even worry about having blue cheese. I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, but I suspect the blue cheese is just simply spoiling. So Lakeland cabbage, devilfish tentacles, and I'd say we do want some of these side dishes, the sour brine, gherkins, and the candied boar. I wonder if it's because we keep getting the gherkins and the boar in that people are not consuming the blue cheese. I don't really know. But anyway, that should sort our stocks for a little bit, hopefully. And yeah, once the blue cheese expires, I think I'll just, you know, not buy anymore. Okay, the stew has spoiled. That's very unfortunate. But that's okay, I think we... hang on, which stew has spoiled though? I'm kind of curious. I think it may have been the mutton stew, not the tentacle stew. Alright, I think things are looking good. I'm just hoping that we get a bigger night crowd at some point. But I'm not stressing about it too much. Would be nice to maybe get a little bit more storage space for food. I think we could probably fit something in there. Apparently there's a fire going on. Whoopsie. Someone needs to fight this. Light the fire. Alright. What's going on? Some of our props require attention. We need some repairs. Yep, that's okay. We'll get to that. Food's not prepared. Bread. I suspect we still have bread being able to be made, though. Unless that was our last batch of bread. It says not available. Do we have the ingredients for it? No. Right. Okay, so this is where we probably do need to shift the menu a little bit. So we do need to just say no more bread available, at least for the time being. We may as well also take the green fruit off. And yeah, we should make some bread. Out of coarse flour, that is. Hang on. It does say that we have fine flour here. What's going on? Maybe we just need to simply prioritize it. Okay, maybe I just simply need to wait. My bad. Huh. Gets so confusing after a while. Alright, should be okay. Let's collect all of our presents. Alright, we're sitting on a pile of money here. I think it's appropriate for us to start thinking about the expansion to the tap room. So let's get to it. Do we have a nest killer? I think we do. Yeah, that looks good. Delete that. Delete that. And I do want to just place this inside. I know no one can actually reach it at the moment, but the idea now is that we should be able to put a door in the corridor, and I might actually get rid of this door. So people will have to use the corridor to get to the kitchen, and that's okay. And then, yeah, I want a door, maybe even a couple of doors that lead into this tap room over here. And we do need to bomb this, right? So let's get someone onto that. And yeah, this will be cleaned up eventually. Oh yes, I forget, but fires may start because of the place being quite dirty, so I'll just wait for things to get cleaned up. In the meantime, I'm sort of thinking about like placing down some cleaning gear. I don't really know how that gets utilized exactly. Like, do we need to have people interact with it? Or does the cleaning gear just, like, make the space cleaner faster? Fine flour has spoiled, apparently. Which means that we're not gonna get our bread. Damn it. Okay. Let's just take the check mark off, because I don't need to delete the meal completely. Yeah. Alright. Looks good. And I can get people to just make that bread. Brilliant. Okay. Alright, looking relatively clean. So, as I keep banging on in previous episodes, I think this tap room should be the one that has our stage. So the two different types of stages, we do have a stage without all of the like additional embellishments there, which I think I will take actually. I'll take that variant instead of the original one, just because I feel like that gives us a little bit more flexibility for decorating. So that is great. And then we should also... I'm just thinking here, but would it be a decent idea to get a stage in here as well? Perhaps. Perhaps maybe we can fit it in somehow. Let's leave that there for the time being. And I'm just sort of thinking about like how much space do we have to work with, and like what kind of seating should I supply. I think if we have like these big tables, we probably won't be able to fit more than 2. Whereas if we go with the smaller tables, we'll probably be able to fit like 4 in. But then in terms of the number of customers that we'll be able to actually hold, it's probably much better if we have the large tables in here, to be fair. Yeah, we can even do that. So that'll hold even more customers. Yeah, let's have a think about whether or not we do want a stage here, because if we get a stage in here, we can entertain a lot of these guests as well. Only issue is, well, it's a bit cramped here. Could potentially get rid of some of these tables. That might not be a bad idea. Anyway, let's just decorate a tiny bit. I'm sort of keen on doing the same thing that we did in the previous tavern, which is to have like stuff like this going on. Actually, sorry, let me get rid of that and then start again. We do need the right colors. And we'll probably want to stretch these things out a little bit. Alright, that looks decent. Then, yeah, I don't know what we should have stage-wise. Like, do we have anything on the stage, or do we leave the stage alone? Do we have any, like, flowers or anything like that? No. Doesn't look like it. I don't know what the bell signifies, but I think it might be appropriate. Coins. Now that I can get behind. So people can throw coins as like
Lovely. I always love
tip.
narrating visual details.
I think we could maybe do better with, like, you know, the placements. Alright, let's not get too carried away with the decorating, shall we? We probably do need a little bit of lighting in there, so let's go ahead and resolve that. So, I think one chandelier in here should be enough. And then we can do like a couple of lanterns. So I'd say lantern on this side and that side. And actually that might prompt me to sort of just move this chandelier a little bit further back. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, let's have a think about whether or not we do want some entertainment in here. I do want to just take a look at all of our stars here. So the services... Okay, we've got 2.5. 2.5 on that as well. So... in terms of entertainment, we don't exactly need entertainment to reach the 2.5 stars, do we? Okay, looks like one of our blue cheese batches has expired, which is good. Should give me room to store other things. Other more useful things. Keep an eye out on stock. The tentacle stew is almost out, but we've got what it takes to make the next batch. Morsel soup. We do have farm hens, but I think we probably do want some more farm hens very soon. So let's order some. And I think this can just come with normal delivery speed. Let's get some more coarse flour as well. And barrels. We're running very low on booze, actually, so probably not a bad idea to get a whole bunch of booze delivered fast. I don't see Mudweiser here. Where's the Mudweiser from? Here we go. Looking good. So if we do have a couple of stages, I'm not entirely sure how we control which entertainer goes to which stage.
Ton. That's a unit of mass joke.
Alright, we're gonna probably want to start thinking about accommodation very soon. But let's not rush into it. We'll reserve the accommodation problems for the next episode. I'm just sort of thinking about after hours here and whether or not that's really a successful endeavor. Because we're really not getting a lot of customers at all. Maybe a second window might not be such a bad idea. And there's maybe an opportunity for us to remove one of the doors in the kitchen and then have, like, yet another pot which we can use to cook another type of food. Maybe. Pillow top loaf. Do we really need it? I don't think so. Let's not worry about it. I just realized, look at the size of these horses. Are they... Actually, no. I'm sort of comparing it to the size of this big troll. But yeah, the horses are actually the right size. Come to think of it. Alright. So let's get some entertainers in. Let's have a look at the pab and just decide on what time would be best for entertainers. Then yeah, I'm sort of curious to see if we can actually entertain people even though those people might be in a different room. So let's see. Harpsichord, it can be there. Songbird Simon, over there. Yeah, let's see whether or not they do a good job. What time is it? It seems a little quiet. Yeah, I suppose maybe we're getting less customers because of this noble enemy that we've made. Storybook time. Oh, we've got a inspector. A health inspector, maybe? Well, as long as they don't go in any of the other rooms that are inaccessible.
Here's my card. Your stage isn't up to code. 5 degrees off level. We'll have to tear it out. Can't have a performer toppling off that thing. Rules is rules. An uncommonly surly halfling holds up his clipboard to try and catch your attention. See here? 5 degrees. Though, maybe I didn't see anything. We could come to some sort of agreement, perhaps of a financial nature.
An agreement, eh? 15 gold, that's not a lot. Yeah, let's do it.
It will indeed, yes. We'll just note that down as a charitable donation to the inspector's ball, shall we? He scoops the gold out of your hand and tucks it away. Stage looks good. Shipshape. See you next year for the ball fundraiser. That is to say, the re-inspection.
Yeah, that's a little bit dubious. I mean, 15 golds is nothing for us at the moment, so I'm not too concerned, but I wonder if that has any impact on workers or customers. Yeah, so there's no one using this space, which is the problem. So I don't know if there's a way to control, you know, which space gets used. You could perhaps maybe control where people go depending on the hour and have them sort of be corralled into this room or that room, because you can sort of control the opening times of each room or each tap room. But that's not really my intention, right? Like, this entire place is either open or closed. What's going on here? Too many orders. Oh yes, so this is where another food window would actually be beneficial. So I can leave that there. Maybe I'll shift this there, and let's do another food window, why not? Yeah, so now we've got like a proper restaurant going. That's kind of cool. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's some people enjoying this room. That's cool. But I reckon I might try to get another stage set up over here. It's just that we do have some customers seated there at the moment, so I'm just gonna wait until they leave. Nice, okay. So since we don't really have like a huge amount of customers yet, I think I can expend the space for 4 additional customers, since I've kind of made up for it over here anyway, right? So let's do another stage. And I'm curious, once we place down this stage, what happens to, Oh, hang on. Wait a sec. What? Tap room. Stage. Oh, are we saying... I think there might be a limit, guys, to how many stages you can put per tavern. I think. In which case, it might be better to have the stage set up over here. In that case, there's no reason for us to only have the stage to entertain such a small number of people. There'll be way more people in here, right? Yeah, and for the people sort of just hanging around the bar, they can get entertained as well. Yeah, okay, let's move it. It's a bit unfortunate though, because I kind of like this area. In terms of these decorations, I might be able to just simply leave that though. So that means I might be able to just get another table in, maybe even another large table. No reason why we won't be able to do that. It's a little dark on this side though, isn't it? Maybe I'll get a little bit more lighting in. That does not play very nice with our decoration here, so alright. Doesn't look too bad. Bit more lighting. And I suppose because it's a little bit empty around the stage itself, I think we could probably add a whole bunch more stuff here, just to simply decorate the space. So we'll have a think about that. Yeah, maybe some barrel stacks like that. I don't know about these pieces of furniture. We could potentially remove those and have other things instead. Halflington Post, Volume 9. Staff missing. Famed wizard Baltharay is offering a bounty for a vanished magical staff. The circumstances surrounding the disappearance are unknown, but Baltharay warns anyone who spots the staff to not approach it themselves, and instead call the authorities as the staff is considered armed and dangerous. The staff is easily recognizable by its aforementioned arms. Okay. So, getting confused about whether or not he's missing a staff member or a staff as in something that you would wave around. Mr. Pugly. Okay. That's actually really creative though. Well done, whoever made that. Alright, so I suppose the interesting thing that's transpired here is that, sure, there's a tap room here, we've got the stage set up, we've also got a tap room in here, but it's not exactly a restaurant-looking tap room, is it? Would have been nice if it looked a little bit more like this. An intimate sort of setup, but I guess this is for bigger, rowdier crowds. Oh. What are we missing here? Gaffer spuds. What are we making in it? Morsel soup. Well, gotta fix that. People will not be happy without the morsel soups. So gaffer spuds, let's do, I'll do a couple of batches, since we do seem to go through the soup quite a bit. Plenty of farm hen, we still have all of the meats and stuff in stock, so that's good. I'm just trying to think of anything I can order, but I think that might be it. Alright, things are operating really well, guys. I don't even know if we need additional staff. Potentially, this could be the maximum amount of staff that we need. Unless we open up the rest of the tavern, which we are going to. I suspect maybe we just need like an additional janitor to just keep the place clean constantly. Speaking of keeping the place clean, can we get some cleaning gear in the staff room? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Yeah, don't really know how people interact with this at all. But I assume they just simply use it. Actually, if I... Yeah, okay. I was sort of thinking... Oh, okay. I can tell people to polish the floors. Interesting. Let me try that. So, if the floors are polished, does that mean it will just remain clean for longer? Polish the floors there. I'll check in with the merchant. He might have some decent things. Lakeland cabbage? Looks like we've just used up one batch. So let's purchase one batch. And because we've just started making some of those stews, it might be a decent idea for us to get all of the stew ingredients back in. The candied boar jerky seems to be going down like a treat, so I will order some more. We'll probably do need some mutton. Let's get another batch of farm hen. And I think we're going to need some coarse flour. Fine flour is still not available. Not too stressed though. I think that should change soon. Hopefully. Someone needs to fight that fire. Who's the closest? We can get Ariel there. Let's go. Perfect. So... I'm just looking for who is my janitor on duty. Shamara. Shamara, can you polish these floors? Because if we can just simply get the floors really, really clean... I think that should prevent any dirt coming in for a while. I think that's the way it works. Yeah, that's a first for me, actually, to take a look at the polishing mechanic. Now, I wonder if customers get annoyed that janitors are sort of polishing the floors while they're there. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but... do see dirt still accumulating though. I suppose it's not like 100% foolproof. Cleaver. Thank you very much, game. Don't know when I'm going to decorate using a cleaver. Actually, you can decorate the kitchen a little bit, can't you? Like, you can add like pots and pans and stuff like that. And like, just throw them all about. Maybe we'll even do that in the next episode. I was sort of taking a look at our expanded taproom area here, but it doesn't seem to be getting used that much. Oh, and what do we have here? It definitely looks like the chairs are not all being utilized, or the space is not being utilized completely. That looks better. Though, I'm sort of thinking about whether or not I want to keep this, and perhaps maybe I could replace it with a hearth. because I reckon having a hearth in might look a bit cooler. Yeah, let's do that. Even though we don't exactly have any customers using it, but it's nice to look at. How are we doing for booze? We're doing alright. We're doing alright.
A pixie asked me if I wanted to see something dirty, and I said yes. Rookie mistake.
Okay.
Be
It's
careful
only
when
just
picking out
filth,
those.
so it's not
Interest
too
can
bad.
really pile up if you aren't mindful.
Yeah, we haven't
Something
exactly
was
played
covered in
around
filth.
with any loans or anything like that. And I don't think it's really going to be necessary at all. Unless we sort of do another replay where we're, you know, making things really challenging for ourselves. Let's get Shamara to polish the floors in there. And I reckon we're going to wrap up the episode, guys. It hasn't been too bad this episode. We've definitely spent a lot of time decorating compared to other episodes. I don't want to use people who have time off, so... Oh, there we go. Yep. Alright. Good. As long as the fire doesn't spread or anything like that. What's going on here? Crafting issues. Not enough fine flour. Yeah. We don't have fine flour. Coarse flour? We do have coarse flour on the way. And we're out of stock of breakfast rolls, candied board jerky, and bread. Yeah, that's... well, the bread is to be expected. The breakfast rolls, though? I think that's something that we can fix. Let's do that. Instant delivery. Oh, not quite instant, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah, things are looking very nice indeed. I'll continue to polish more floors in the next episode, as well as, well, generally speaking, you know, decorating even more different corners of this entire tavern. But if we can in the next episode, I'll try to get our very first rooms, so we can start some form of accommodation. We've got a lot of space to work with, to be fair, and I don't know if we really need that much accommodation, or whether or not we should, you know, try to... I don't know, we could try to perhaps maybe do even more taps. So maybe that's the reason why things are so quiet in here, is we don't exactly have any other taps except for in this room, right? I mean, this room gets utilized quite a bit though, like customers do actually sit down in a restaurant-y area. So yeah, maybe it's just the amount of customers that we're getting. We haven't had a need for that much space. Anyway, we'll figure it out in the next episode, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Definitely drop me a like down below if you have. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.